Hi folks, Todd Keppel with the Klamath County Museum here. Today we're shooting a video to go with our selected photo of the week for Sunday, April 21st, 2019. To set this photo up for you, we're going to take you to the spot where the photo was taken. That means we're headed down to the other end of Main Street to Veterans Park. So let's get going. Good old engine 2579. It's an enduring symbol of the importance of railroading in the Klamath Basin and of that time when railroads used the incredible force of steam pressure to power their locomotives. Engine 2579 was built in 1906 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in Pennsylvania. She was one of 221 engines just like this that were owned by the Southern Pacific Railroad. She's a 280. What that means in railroad terms is that she's got two wheels at the front that are called the leaders, and then 8 wheels that are the drivers, and 0 trailers. Each of the drivers is a 57-inch wide wheel. Altogether, the locomotive, when it was manufactured, weighed nearly 97 tons. Its boiler produced 210 pounds of pressure per square inch. Its tender, number 8204, could hold 10,000 gallons of water. Engine 2579 had more than 45,000 pounds of tractive power. Now what does that mean? Honestly, I don't know. It had something to do with how much force it could exert as it was pulling a train from a dead stop. But at any rate, we know that she was retired in May of 1957, and she came to Klamath Falls in September of 1957. The community held a huge celebration. They declared Railroad Day. Mayor Slater climbed up in the cab of the engine. So when the engine arrived in Klamath Falls, they brought it to about this spot in Veterans Park. It was just almost across the street from the Baldwin Hotel. So that was 1957, but by 1969, people noticed that the train was starting to deteriorate a little bit. It was starting to get rusty, the paint was peeling, and so just a few years after it arrived, in fact in 1969, it was proposed that the locomotive be moved out of Klamath Falls. It was going to go to an excursion railroad operation in Mount Shasta City, California. And so in April of 1969, just 12 years, less than 12 years after it arrived, Engine 2579 was headed back out of town. Crews came back into Veterans Park and they laid a set of tracks to move the locomotive to a spur line on the Modoc Lumber Company property just across the street. This clipping from the April 25th, 1969 Herald and News shows the crew in action laying the track. It turns out that we've got the negative from this photo in our archives, and since this photo was taken almost exactly 50 years ago, we decided to select this image as our photo of the week for the week beginning Sunday, April 21st, 2019. It's a great angle on the action here. Unfortunately, the photographer was not identified, but it's interesting to note that you can see the Baldwin Hotel in the background. It was still a hotel at that time, and it would not become a county-owned museum for another 9 years after this photo was taken. So you're probably wondering, if they were going to remove the engine from the park, why is it still here after 50 years? They moved the engine about 300 feet, and then the project got derailed. Not the locomotive, just the project. And so the locomotive has sat in the same spot for the last 50 years. The reason it hasn't moved any more than that, we'll probably explain that in another video. So we'll call it good for now. For the Klamath County Museum, I'm Todd Keppel. We think local history is important and interesting, and we hope you do too. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.